Good morning, y'all. Taylor here with y'all 106.7 in the Red Wing Shoe Studio. And today we are joined by singer-songwriter, really funny guy already, I can tell, Mr. Aaron Raitiere.
Yes, ma'am.
Said it, nailed it. How are we doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. That is a fancy name. Where did that come from?
French. But I'm from Kentucky. That's about all I got as far as French goes.
Very impressive.
Oui.
You just drove all night from Carolina. You got in at like 3 a.m., came straight into here. So we appreciate your commitment.
That's why I can hit those low radio notes this morning. The radio notes. Thank you for having me.
I'm excited to talk to you today. First and foremost, you got a show coming up at Chiefs on Broadway, October 15th. Tickets still available at chiefsonbroadway.com. Have you played that venue before? It's pretty cool.
This is one of my favorite places to play. This show will be hilarious. This is with this guy, Win Varble. First off, that's a great name, Win Varble. And Win wrote songs like I'm a Little More Country Than That. He wrote Waiting on a Woman. So he's got some real credits, but he's also, like, most of his songs are hilarious. And in general, he's a pretty, funny dude. So I think it's going to be more of a comedy show this round.
I'm excited.
If you come this Tuesday, yeah.
I feel like that's what people want to hear, though. Like, when they come to those rounds, they want to hear your commentary. They want to hear the story behind the songs. They want to see your personality.
And my shows, we call it Cigarettes and Pizza. I've got a song called Dear Darling. Dear Darling.
Teresa, she smells like cigarettes and pizza.
Yeah. And that's where it comes from. All my merch, none of it has my name on or anything. So I was up there playing. Driver Williams has a show up there. I don't know what his is, but I was a guest and met John O'Neill, I believe his last name. I'm remembering all these last names this morning. And John suggested I come up there and try one of my own. So the first one we had was with Tennille Towns, and it was incredible. We had all these Canadian folks just show up randomly because Tennille was Canadian Entertainer of the Year, I think, most recent.
And Canadian fans are die hard.
And actually some people came out and did an interpretive dance to one of her songs as she played it. This was totally radical because they had come into town to play to do their dance on the Grand Ole Opry. So they were actual interpretive dancers who actually had a gig on the Grand Ole Opry where they were actually going to dance to a Tennille song. And
that's impressive.
Then they found Tennille playing randomly and showed up randomly, and we invited them up on stage. So the first one we had interpretive dancers. The next one we had Maggie Antone. I don't know if you're familiar with her, but if you're not, you should be. She's incredible. She's I want to say she just turned 21, and she's on the internet. She's smoking cigarettes, and she's writing, and she's singing. And she's awesome. And that show was pretty much the same thing, like comedy and talent. And the talent isn't me. The talent's the talent. And I mean, she could just sing the phone book, and it's incredible. That room up there they call it the Neon Steeple.
So cool.
It's like a miniature Ryman. It's so wild that it's actually quiet in that room. And when you walk out the door, it's loud. In the same building, it's super loud. So we had Ashley Monroe last, and at this point, it seems like it's getting pretty serious.
They keep asking you to come back, so you must be doing a good job.
Right? I don't know what we're doing up there, but we're doing something. Every time the show ends, we really don't even know what happened. But everybody laughed a lot, and there were ups and downs and left and right. Yeah, it seems like one of those things. After Win, we've got Shelley Fairchild lined up too. So I'm really, I'm proud of that.
Sounds unpredictable, sounds exciting, and we're ready for it.
Yeah, and I think we're going to keep on doing it into the next year too. And it's just once a month kind of thing. On a Tuesday, generally. We have a couple Mondays, but on a Tuesday on Broadway. So Broadway is pretty exhausting and crazy anyway.
It is.
But if you are going to hit it Monday or Tuesday, it's not too bad of a time to hit it because it's got a little bit of a lull and you can find a spot and the Uber's not too expensive and all that.
Yeah, definitely. Broadway, we've had a couple nights down there that maybe we'll have another one that we won't remember when we come to your show.
Well,
blackouts.
You're welcome to remember it too. They have great barbecue there. Advertise that. I mean, I can't tell if I'm in it for the room or if I'm in it for the barbecue or if I'm in it for the music. I don't know. I like
free barbecue. I mean, that's
I go down there
for
barbecue.
Yeah.
I had a friend going down there with me for a minute. And I was like, man, you're going to miss it this week. And they're like, that's all right. I'm just more sad I'm going to miss that barbecue.
Where's your favorite place to eat in Nashville if you're just like going out to eat?
Oh, man. My kitchen.
What you cook?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Yeah.
Ramen noodles?
Yeah, Raymond. I like that. That'd be a great name, Raymond's Noodles.
Oh, you say ramen? Are you one of those?
I don't know. It's probably both. It's like turmeric and tomato,
Are you
tomato.
ramen or ramen?
Salmon
Ramen?
or salmon. My mom still says
Told you
salmon.
I said everything wrong. I say salmon.
I think it's ramen.
I'm outnumbered in here. In
I think
this room of
Raymond's
guys.
cute. You should just leave it at Raymond.
All right,
But I'm
cool.
thinking like start a whole thing called Raymond's Noodles, like Raymonds. My name's Raymond, and these noodles started back in my family and back in France. The Raitiere family started Raymond's Noodles.
I would
Raymond
buy
Raitiere.
It just sounds so fancy. I want to talk about a song you touched on, "Dear Darling," from your that was your debut album, right, in 2022.
Yep. Off-
Single Wide Dreamer.
Yeah, cool.
So tell me about that, because you originally just thought you were going to be a songwriter, and then you had friends that wanted to make an album for you. You put an album out.
And my plan was to play music on the street.
Okay.
And I was just sleeping in my van playing music on the street, and I've got 2 college degrees, but I just figured once I got those papers, I just figured I told my mom, now I'm a dog with papers, but I've always been a dog, So.
What'd you go for? Like, what'd you get your degree in?
History and recording engineering.
Okay. So you knew that there was music there.
Yeah. I mean, I was also just trying to get a master's so I could, it's my plan Z. I don't know. I got a little BC. I got some other thoughts before we have to rely on, going to teach, but I always thought I could maybe teach. And I wound up teaching anyway. I taught my mom how to write songs, and we got some Oak Ridge Boys cuts.
What?
Yeah, man, she's an ER nurse, a retired ER nurse.
That's amazing.
That's what I'm saying. I could teach you how to write a song, or anybody. Yeah, it's not a teachable thing. I feel like it's a thing where you just kind of do it.
Yeah.
You allow yourself to be not good at it, and then you'll eventually get better at it, which is like anything, baseball, whatever.
You got your mom an Oak Ridge Boys cut. We just had William Lee Golden in here last week.
Really?
That is cool. What
I love
song?
them. We wrote Love, Light, and Healing. And then they have a new record coming out. Me and David Lee Murphy wrote the single on it right now, Come On Home. But Mom and I have a song on the new one called Ever With Me that we wrote about Nanny, her mom, Nanny and Papa. That's my grandparents in Kentucky. And they're long gone. But
What's it like writing with Mama?
well, Mom talks and I write it down. So far, I've been talking the whole time. So if you can imagine, she talks more than me.
Wow.
But yeah, the whole song's like, I think it's just a list of things that make her think about her mom and then make me think about my mom. And then it says, for you are ever with me.
I love that.
Yeah, so listen for the new one on.
Like I said, you're a very interesting man. Like, I didn't expect you to say that you had an Oak Ridge Boys cut with your mom, that you taught your mom how to write a song. So
I've got all sorts of boring elements. I'm pretty boring too. We can get real boring really quick.
you sound like you can write a song about anything. I mean, you wrote a song about an armadillo. That Miranda Lambert just cut and put out on her last album. I love that song before I even knew that you wrote it, because I'm
Wow.
obsessed with Miranda. Which that song is kind of, the way I understand it, like an excuse that a guy has given his wife or girl or whatever. Like, oh, there was this armadillo that.
Yeah, I guess a metaphor for an excuse or something.
Right.
It was that song was such an accident though. Like, I draw and paint a bunch, and I just came back from a festival in Greer, South Carolina called the Albino Skunk Festival.
Okay.
Where last year I sang a song. There was a phone message to my friend Ben that I just left right before I got on stage, and it took off on the internet. It's the craziest festival. So this year I showed up with a truckload of art, like the Terry Allen song, and had just a big box trailer full of paintings and drawings and stuff, and was selling art for the past week.
Wow.
And it worked. But what was I getting to?
We were talking about the armadillo song.
Okay, so someone had a great friend had commissioned me to draw a picture of an armadillo smoking a joint for an inside joke for a wedding gift.
Okay.
And they were going to give me $200. And I was writing that afternoon with my best buddy, John, and our friend Parker, and we were sitting there, and nothing was happening. And we've been sitting there for 20 minutes, and I said, all right, guys, I'm leaving. I have been commissioned to draw a picture of an armadillo with a doobie for $200. And John says, what's the story on that? And so we just make up this, it's just a joke, it took us 10 minutes to write. And then John said, hey, let's throw in, and I swear it's where I was last night. And then that makes it an excuse, And then we kind of forgot about it. And I sang it for a little while, and people were laughing. And then, and then Miranda cut it, which, like, short story long, long story short.
Wow.
Makes no sense at all.
You wrote
She
it in
said-
10 minutes. She said what?
Well, it doesn't make sense that. Well, she asked me what I'd been singing. She didn't ask me if I had any songs that I thought she'd like. Because if you're pitching a song for her to sing, I would not have pitched a song about an armadillo smoking a joint.
But it works with the album, like the Texas.
I would never have. I would have hidden it. You know,
Yeah.
I was like, and do not let her hear that one. But I was in some mood, and I said, all right, here we'll eat this. Ha ha ha. You know, send it, and she sends back, I'm cutting this, and I said, terrible idea. Because you have a real career, you know? Like, my buddy's like, what do you mean? She's going to record it, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, especially when you try so hard to make stuff happen in this town, and then you just, you know, throw it to the wind one day, and there it goes.
Kind of like you backing in a trailer at 3 a.m. at a perfect job. Nobody was around to see it because you weren't even trying.
You're just getting it in by like hair, you know?
That is so cool. Yeah, it works so great with that album. But you kind of just have cut after cut coming out lately.
Luck after luck.
Luck after luck. You Look Like You Love Me, Ella Langley and Riley Green.
And that's another luck one. I mean, because I've been here for 20 years. So at this point, I've been saying, you know, they say it's a 10-year town. I was just kind of happy being off in the corner, drawing my pictures of armadillos and just, you know, hanging in there with everybody else. And the moment it seems like you just kind of let it go, there it goes. And, you know, I feel like I've been standing in the road for a long time, right out in the middle of the road. And you stand in the middle of the road long enough, you get hit by a car. And I feel like now I'm just going boom, boom,
like
boom,
an armadillo.
I'm sitting out there on 24 just getting run over, you know. Yeah, I don't know. So I'm also ready for it all to just disappear really fast. So I'm thinking like, all right, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Take these open doors and try to kick some more stuff down them while they're there. And also, I'm trying to walk away while you're winning. You know, I think a lot of people get hooked on this town like it's Vegas or something, and you're at that table and you write, you know, friends in low places, and you have the biggest year of your life, and then you're downtown and it's 20 years later and you're still wearing your hat and your sunglasses inside, and it's like, bro, that was 20 years ago. Like I'm trying to also say, okay, I'm a painter, and I'm going to go down and sell my art in a tent and not get carried away with anything. Keep trying to write songs about squirrels and
armadillos. It is a double-edged sword as a writer because, like you said, you've put in the work long before now, and then now it feels like everything's like blowing up. All these cuts are coming out, and then you want to enjoy it, but then you're also like, oh, well, when is this going to go away kind of thing. So mentally, it's taxing.
Well, and it's also rewarding as hell. I mean, here's all this stuff happening, you know, but I was telling my old man the other day, I feel like I wrote this song by myself the other day. I mean, it's an all right song, but it was more like just a little therapy moment, but I feel like we all have this little loser inside of us, especially people who are winning, and you forget about that little loser that brought you to the dance kind of thing, that brought you to the game. And I feel like I'm at this point where I'm really fighting for the little loser inside of me, you know, trying to just like remember that the guy that got me to here is the guy that was sleeping in a van telling everybody I'm going to play on the street. Because I can make $300 on the street just singing the same thing again and again. In 3 hours. So what's the point of going and trying to get Blake Shelton to sing your garbage when you can just go yell it in people's faces on Broadway?
Calls his cuts his garbage. No, but
it's all just words
that's
been put in some different order. You know, I don't know. Nobody made it up. The worst when somebody says, "I made this up." Well, yeah, you know.
Yeah, that's going to take you farther than anything, though.
Someone else's thoughts in a different order. That's all you did. You know.
If you're in it for the money and the fame, you're going to end up very, you know, let down at the end of the day. And you'd make music on the street, you'd make music anywhere because it's who you are and you love it. So I think that's. And at some point,
you got to be in it for the money a little bit, you know, because otherwise you'll sit there and other people will get all the money. You know, that's what you realize too. You know, I've been trying to get spoons out of my chili. I feel like you get too many spoons in your chili, and everybody's trying to stir in different ways. Like I got friends, they got a tour manager and a road manager and a home manager and a kid manager and a church manager, you know, like eventually like I got to get all these spoons back kind of thing.
You're good with the metaphors.
Right?
I like that. I do want to talk about your I do want to talk about You Look Like You Love Me though. That song is taken like on a mind of its own. I love the video, the story, Instagram, TikTok. It's blowing up. How did that come about? Because you wrote it with Ella and Riley.
Yeah. Well, me and Ella wrote the initial song in my living room, and like it was another 20 minutes. She sat there and ate a bunch of spaghetti. She'll tell the same story.
I love spaghetti.
She does too. I watch her eat so much spaghetti in 20 minutes. And She's like, no, I wasn't eating like that. I was like, I don't know. Are you eating like,
Yeah.
like a shovel in it? No. And we were just laughing. She said, I have a song I wrote with my buddy John called Jesus Jenny that was on the Lindyville record, Ashley McBride's Lindyville, and it's a talking song, and it's funny. And she said, I need a kind of a funny song similar to Jesus Jenny that I could deliver at the Bluebird or one of these places, just some variety to my set. We weren't sitting here trying to, again, some people are saying, all right, this is going to be a hit. We're going to write a hit today. It's going to go viral or whatever, we just sat there and wrote this song. She ate some spaghetti. I said, how about, she'll say anything to anybody. She's a tough woman. She's hunting deer and doing all this stuff, things a man ought to know kind of person. And so I just thought, what if a woman hit on a man instead of a man hitting on a woman? And we're in the era of, female power. And she thought it was great. And it was all just have a conversation. I think we wrote like 16 verses of just like what you might say if you just walk. Well, I was sitting there and I walked right up to him and, that kind of thing. She goes out and then we forget about it, like the armadillo one. And most every song I've ever written, that's kind of the program. Then you forget about it and say, well, that was a good sandwich. Thanks. Good spaghetti. We laughed a lot. Can't say it was a wasted afternoon. What a privilege to get to hang out with Ella Langley. I'm going to go for a walk. That was my afternoon, And then she calls me and says she had gone on the road with Riley, which I didn't know they were on tour. I'm familiar with Riley's music because of Wyatt McCubbin and Eric Dillon and some of these guys in town that write with them and hang out with them. And I guess she sang the song, our version of it, and he said, hey, can I put a verse on that? And it really changed the whole thing because now it's a duet, know, and he took the second verse and then they started singing it together. And she's just keeping me posted. I'm still over here drawing armadillos. And she's like, have you seen TikTok? And I'm like, man, I'm a 42-year-old dude from Kentucky.
I know TikTok.
I've seen it now. I've got TikTok now.
Oh, sure. You're going to see it now. You can't open your phone without seeing it.
Well, that's another addiction too,
Yeah.
You sit there and look. I already have a hard time staying off the thing, and then when it's going ding, 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 ding. You're like,
So when she played it for Riley, was there still 16 verses or y'all had already narrowed it down?
We narrowed it down to 2.
Okay.
And she still sings the first version when Riley isn't around to sing the second version. And I've been out, the real version, the actual version. There's the first one. But I've sang, his part a few times when I've opened up for it, and it is so much fun. For the first time, I've never experienced that where everybody's singing your lines back.
Oh, wow, that's cool. What a moment. What did that feel like the first time?
Pretty cool. Just another damn dopamine rush.
There you go.
Oh man, yeah. Trying to convince the little loser that he's like, that's the whole thing. He don't want to let him start thinking he's a winner. Yeah. Because then he's not going to take any more risks.
Yeah.
When you're losing, you're willing to just throw it all out there. When you're winning, you're like, is this a good investment of my time? Am I even going to get a sandwich out of this?
Well, also you're putting your best foot forward without having any expectation. Like, like you said, you're hanging out with Ella, eating spaghetti, tossing around ideas, and you're
more could an American man ask for?
Amen.
That's a good afternoon.
Got a beautiful country girl that knows good food and likes music and kills deer, hunting, fishing, loving every day.
Yeah.
We love it.
Yeah.
Did you write a song on A Star Is Born, the movie?
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. You're right. Got hit by a bus that night when you're standing in the middle of the road and it's
wow.
I wrote "I'll Never Love Again" with Lady Gaga, Natalie Hemby, and Hillary Lindsey in 2017, maybe 16, because the movie came out in 19. It was a few years. We wrote the song while the movie was being written too. So
and you knew it was for the movie. Yeah.
Uh-huh. And Is That All Right was another one. And Look What I Found.
Yeah.
There was 3 of them on there that I wrote.
Well, that is really cool. That was a good
weird.
movie.
That was the first time I ever went to L.A. What a trip.
Yeah. Before it all went to crap. No offense, LA.
I don't know. I guess I've only been there like 8 or 9 times.
That was a good movie. It was a sad movie. But
I could only watch a couple times. Now Chris Christopherson's got everybody watching it again.
Mm-hmm. And was he one of your musical influences?
Whether anybody says he was or isn't, he definitely was. Yeah. I don't sit around and listen to Christopherson albums. I'm listening to like Wesley Willis and Ween and Tool. I have terrible taste in music.
Who did you grow up listening to? Anybody country at all?
I was listening more like Doc Watson, Old and in the Way. I got into Guy Clark in high school. My folks were cramming John Prine in my ears. You know, I loved it. I mean, I'm definitely like influenced and fan of John Prine's, but I think I'd lean more towards like Guy Clark for my, you know, songwriter, hero kind of stuff. Jerry Jeff Walker.
Yeah.
I've never really been a big Dylan fan. I don't know why.
Which
I don't
one?
know if Bob Dylan.
Bob or Dean?
Or Dean Dillon's awesome.
Yeah, are you talking about Bob Dylan?
Bob Dylan. I just
Okay.
never got it. I had this argument the other day. I
Oh
was
my
like, I don't think
God.
Bob Dylan would have made it in today's current climate.
That is such a hot take.
And man, somebody was so, man, I that angered some people. And I was like, and then I had a password for a long time. My password up at one of these places was, they're like, okay, sir, you're changing your code. What's your secret? And I'd say, Bob Dylan can't sing.
Yeah. It is so funny that you say that. It's crazy.
I don't know. I bet I always figured
agree.
if Bob Dylan can do it, anybody can do it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Bob Dylan was in a lot of my American history classes in college too, though. You know, it was a big part of his lyric was a big part of cultural change and all that. But in that case, then we need to throw Florida Georgia Line and Old Town Road in the history books too, because music changed after Cruise, and then music changed again after Old Town Road, and to me, they were just as culturally significant as Bob F. and Dylan.
I literally love you just for saying that, because everyone's like, if you want to be a good songwriter, you got to study Bob Dylan. You got to study Bob Dylan. So
It's like learn the rules so you can break them. I don't know if you need to study them. You know what I'd say? If you're going to study Bob Dylan, just don't even listen to it. Just read it. Like you can get his lyrics and just read them. And you as a writer, I would say you'd have a quicker influence. Just to be careful that you don't listen to him and think that everybody wants to hear somebody go. But if you try to sing the words, you know, the words are words. The singing's the singing. There's two different things there, you know. And I'm usually responsible for words too. I can't sing, you know, sing.
Well, not that, but I would have to agree with the Bob Dylan part, because people
get
say
on
that you
Bob
need to
Dylan
study.
all
And so
day long.
not too long ago, I went and downloaded like a bunch of Bob Dylan songs, like maybe 20. And I'm listening to it just in the past few weeks, riding around in my car. And I'm like, I don't like this. And I'm like, what is wrong with me? Because I don't like it. And I was feeling like a crazy person. And you were the first person ever in my life who has validated that thought.
I respect it though. I just don't. My ears don't want it.
It's not music. Exactly.
But
It's not soothing.
I mean, James Taylor.
Yeah.
Same kind of thing for me. I bet it's just me, you know. I think my ears are screwed up. I mean, if you played some Tool for some people too, I don't know if they'd want to listen to that all afternoon either.
Wow.
So.
I love that you said that. That was great.
Weezer. I lean towards Weezer.
Oh, yeah.
On a sunny day.
Is that them? Beverly Hills? Do they sing?
Yeah. Oh, yep. Beverly Hills.
Yeah. I have a question for you. When people come to your house, do they sign baseballs when they're writing a song?
Thomas talking about that.
I heard about that.
I got weird asking. I got weirded myself asking anybody for anything. Like, I'm not really fangirly at all. I don't really care what you did or who you are or whatever. But every now and then, like those leftover salmon guys, I forgot to take a damn baseball. It's so much easier to ask someone to sign a baseball than to sign a guitar or a record or my arm or my boob or whatever people sign, you know, like. But I can walk up to a grown ass man with a baseball and be like, "Will you sign my baseball?"
They love it.
And now I got a pretty cool baseball collection, all of autographed by my favorite musicians and a lot of co-writers. Yeah, I got a Red Clay Strays one kind of started. I need a couple more on there just to finish it off.
Yeah.
I got let me think. I got a Maggie Antone ball. I have a Hayes Carl baseball. I feel like I need to get two of them, throw one of those on eBay. That could go pretty good. He's a living legend.
That's cool.
Nicholas Jamerson, you know, from Sunday Best. I got a Nicholas Jamerson.
Do you keep them all like on a shelf?
Yeah, I put a shelf.
Got a little
up on,
shrine.
Yeah, it looks like Mickey Mantle or something would be on these, but if you look at them, it says like, you know, Bill.
That's awesome. Are they baseballs from the Turtle team? Tell me about the Turtles.
The Turtles are very significant in my life now. I didn't realize how significant they would be, but it is kind of this combination of theory of evolution that I had for a minute that I just was talking about all stony on some podcast about how pretty sure that we're all just Ninja Turtle water balloons. And, you know, if you'd seen Ninja Turtles 2 and you knew the secret of the ooze, then the turtles pretty much swell up into big things. So we're pretty much essentially little tadpoles that have swollen up into big things, And so I laid into the turtles thing for a minute, and then one night I was sitting there thinking I needed a team. It had been a minute since I'd been on a team, and I figured I'd just make one because I'm more of that spirit. Like if there's not a gig, well, go make one. If there's not a show, I had told my buddy, the world is your stage. This is pretty cool advice. You really can just go right outside right now and start yelling, and at least 4 people are going to either tell you to shut up or give you $1. So right here on the porch, I guarantee if I just started screaming, one of y'all would come outside. I've done crazier shit.
You're going to win at life with that attitude.
The world is your stage.
I mean, you just create opportunities. So you made your own team.
I made a team. I just got on the internet and ordered a jersey and wore it to one of my shows and printed up a bunch of stickers that said "Go Turtles." ADHD.cool. That's my website. And just started yelling out all these random things. Go Turtles, ADHD.cool. And I sold, 5 shows in a row, I sold my Turtles jersey right off my back for $200 right after the show.
So you just keep having to buy a new one?
Right when I sell it, I'll just get another one, yeah.
Wow.
And so I got a couple on deck for the next few shows if anybody feels like they need a $200 Turtles jersey. But you never know what a few beers and a couple laughs will do. Somebody's got to have it.
Everybody wants to be drafted to the Turtles. It's the coolest team in town.
Which it makes absolutely no sense at all. And you're right. I think I've got some friends that are like they're kind of hurt. Their feelings are hurt that I haven't asked them to be on the team yet. But the way you get on this team is you just ask if you could be on the team. That's what I realized.
Okay, can I be on it?
Totally. You just have to send me your anybody out there. Just send me your number and jersey size. Quicker way to do it is just send me your number and print up a jersey, any jersey that just says Turtles, and put your name on it, and that's it.
So there's no branding to follow, no protocol.
No, just it could be a hockey jersey, a soccer jersey, football jersey,
just
basketball.
Put Turtle on it.
And it just has to say Turtles, and that's it. And then when people ask you what it's about, you say absolutely nothing. Because if there's one thing we can all agree on, it's nothing. So
again,
in
that's
the time
very
of split parties and everything else, if there's one thing, say, how about this? Can everybody agree that we'll be on this team that stands for absolutely nothing, that does absolutely nothing, that is responsible for absolutely nothing? And we're called the Turtles, and we're slow, and we don't really talk or anything. Most people will go for it. Unless you got a problem with the color green, in that case, just pick a different color because I don't think there's any rules. But, I had somebody ask me, they're like, look, man, it's been months, and everybody else is on the Turtles, and I don't know why I haven't been,
People are getting offended.
Yeah,
Aaron.
And I said, well, you had never asked.
Yeah. So are we going to do turtle meetups, turtle parties, tours?
I'm thinking now that there's hundreds of turtles, I've been thinking we're going to call them all Turtle Heads. And then we'll have this, we got to have Turtle Fest or something.
We got to.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe
and we want to sponsor it.
Okay,
we want to be a turtle sponsor.
Maybe we should create something.
Let's have a turtle music festival.
Turtle music festival, incredible. And the whole point is nothing. Maybe we could throw some money to some sea turtles or something.
Yeah, give us a way to sports bet on the turtles somehow.
Everybody loves turtles. I mean, I was just in North Carolina. They turn the lights out for those guys so they don't get lost.
Wow, I love it. I love your authenticity. I love your attitude. I feel like you have a winning at life attitude, like I said, because you don't take anything too seriously. But at the same time, the passion is there. Okay, well, you did get in late, so you get a pass.
The passion is there. I'm passionate.
Yeah.
The ADH thing, whatever, I feel like I'm all over the place, too, if I haven't been yet, No. But I try to just accommodate the insanity. I draw on my walls.
So when you look at advice, because I love to ask people what advice they would give their younger self, maybe 21-year-old you or somebody moving to town, what would you say?
This is advice I've been saying to people who've asked me lately, and we'll just say ducked instead of effed. Let's say get ducked. And once you get really good at that, then when something good starts happening, you'll be so used to just, I think if you're be a poet or a songwriter or a writer or radio, if you're going to start a radio, these are all creative things. If you're going to do something creative, just get used to getting ducked. Get used to get used to losing. Yeah. And then once that little loser's comfortable with that and can say, yeah, I'm a songwriter. I don't care what y'all say. I didn't even know what a cut was when I came here. This guy said, what's a cut? He said, what cuts do you have? And I said, what's a cut? And he laughed. He said, good luck, kid. And he walked off. And, who cares? Make your own rules.
Wow.
and get good at losing. Because then you're gonna be really good at winning. Because you won't even care at all. It was just I'm really good at beans, potatoes, and eggs and corn. And I always said if I was gonna teach a songwriting class, the first few lectures would be, let's figure out how many different ways we can cook this $2 bag of 5 pounds of potatoes. Because we're gonna eat a lot of potatoes before we hit song number 3,471. You look like you love me or whatever. And by then, like, hopefully you're not so far in debt from all your $2 potatoes.
Yeah. Smothered, covered,
Just
and fried.
get used to get ducked.
That's great.
But
Get
starting
ducked.
with an F.
That needs to be the motto of the Turtles.
Get effed.
ducked.
Yeah, just lose. And then once you're good at it in all aspects of life, just the car's going to break down. The hurricane's coming. Everything's going to go wrong. And then when it goes right, man, that's an awesome day.
That's awesome.
And then you're so thankful for your good days.
Well, we're thankful that you made it here. Thank
too.
you for making the trip. And thank you for playing for us because you're about to play us a song.
Cool.
What are we going to play?
I have no clue.
We have no idea. We're just going to see what comes out. Best way to keep up with you really quick on Instagram. You want to say your Instagram handle, your website for our listeners?
It's just my name, AARONRAITIERE. And then I have an art Instagram.
Yes, we want to know.
A Raitiere.
Okay.
ARAITI. I don't even know how to spell my name. A Raitiere.
The most interesting man in the world.
ADHD.cool. That's the easiest way to get to it. I think I have something else out there too. I can't remember. I started a bunch of fake undercover bands. Check out Yip Yap Yup.
Okay.
On
Yip,
Spotify.
Yap, Yap. You got to be
My name's not even on it, but it's a kids record, and it's a bluegrass kids record.
You got to be careful what you put on the internet. It never goes away. So.
Oh yeah, well that's fine.
We don't know what'll happen when we Google you.
It doesn't matter because I'm gonna go away one day.
Hey.
So I don't care if the internet's still there. I won't be.
Yeah. Well, you're a legend. I love you. So great to meet you. Chiefs on Broadway, October 15th.
Come down and see Win. Win's hilarious. Between the two of us, you're gonna cry. Yeah.
Okay, I love to cry in a good way.
Laugh so hard you'll cry.
Let's do it. Let's get into this performance, y'all.
Okay.